Hello, everyone. It is a relatively warm morning here, which is nice. Yes, spring and fall are my favorite times of the year, really, when it comes down to it. When it comes to being able to work. Yes, do some work. Yeah, okay, right. Temperatures are just right. Yes. We had a cold spell here. It was freezing. It was really, really cold. And the peas that had come up and some other cold crops that I already put out. Not sure how much of it survived. It was that cold. So the peas are doing okay, looks like. Yes. Had some volunteer sunflowers already come up, and I think they didn't make it. But that's okay. I didn't plant them, they just came up on their own. But anyway, but I'm getting excited. This is probably a good day to check on everything out there. Yes, okay. I had one of my spiritual daughters visiting yesterday with her three children, of which the youngest one is 6 months old. And after a busy day, it was later in the afternoon. I was over here in my little abode, and they were all sitting outside, and four children running around. Yes, and I hear them talking. I stick my head out, and there they are, both of them sitting on the chair. The children are playing, and my daughter was holding a 6 month old, and here they're both talking. So my spiritual daughter has three children, my daughter has two, and here they are talking about getting pregnant together. I said, "You guys are gonna do what?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're thinking about getting pregnant together. It'd be fun to have one more." And I'm going, "Okay." I said, "Oh, not right now. We're not gonna do that right now." But it's like they're both such wonderful moms, amazing moms and wives. Yes, and here they are, right, sitting and holding a 6 month old and talking with each other, and I'm so excited to think, well, let's have one more, right? Yes, let's have one more. And I love it. I love it. I love to see that kind of excitement to have to bring a baby into the world, to bring another baby into the world. Yes? Well, that's one of those things, but first one, it's like, wow, this, that. For most, I mean, not everyone, but yep, it's like, wow, this is just amazing. This, and then the second one, because you most likely only will have either a boy or a girl. You're hoping for the other gender, and so on and so on. And then by the third one, okay, I don't know how that is. I'm just, from what I've heard out there, when it comes to having children, you hear more often, "Oh, I will not have any children," or all the stuff about how exhausting and this and that it is to have children. And okay, oh, then I guess it's better not for people not to have them, right? Yes, than for children to end up in a household that doesn't appreciate them in the way one should appreciate and welcome a child into the family, right? Yes. Well, anyway, but here they are, both out there, with children running around, um, and here they are talking about, let's have one more, right? Yes. Okay. Well, anyway, waste not, want not. Yes. Raising my four children, oh, it was. I look back and I'm amazed what I all did with them, and on how happy I was doing it all. Yes, yeah, I was very organized and very on top of things because I wanted always things to go really, really well. Yes, and when you have four children and you're going anywhere or you're doing things with, then you got to be organized or it just becomes a big old mess. Yes? Oh, When one's heart to mind, one's conscience is in the right place and organized according to God's will and ideal and standard and values, then things go much better. Things are way more happy. Yes? And the most amazing thing in one's life, one of the most amazing things in one's life, if one is lucky enough to actually be able to produce and create and carry a child, that's the most amazing thing ever in one's life. Yes? I talked about adoptive parents, this and that, if in case, there's something had gone wrong or adoptive parents are a gift to our world when they are willing to take in children that no one else wants or the parents just have abandoned. And I've talked about it also on how I feel like, yeah, children want to know about the roots, this and that, but not sure when these children grow into adults and what goes wrong in their head or their heart to mind. But they should be a bit more appreciative. Yes, from what I've seen, I'm sure there's a lot of children that were adopted or adopted that are very appreciative. But then there's the ones I'm not quite getting the complaints about. Okay, just saying. I could go further into it. Just from things I've seen. I'm not going to go and support that or underline, oh yeah, I understand, No. 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 Even if you come from another continent and end up in a good family's home, adopt it, you should. Why hanker after the past? Huh? Yeah. Anyway, okay. Don't know how I got into that one, but I did. Anyway, having children. Yes, yeah. So, thought I'd share that. Okay, let's get going here in the book of Jeremiah. And it looks like 20 is quite short, 21 is short, and 22 is quite long. So I think I want to combine 20 and 21 here today, just to get going. I know, just to get going and get finished. Well, then why don't I just do every day? I know, I'm having a bit of a hard time. So, but I'm going. I will keep going. Okay. We are in the book of Jeremiah 20. Selections from the Confessions of Jeremiah. Well, confessions doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing, right? Okay. You have seduced me, Yahweh, and I have let myself be seduced. You have overpowered me. You were the stronger. I am a laughing stock all day long. They all make fun of me. And I tell you what, that guy really needs to lay off the drugs and the booze. Why would he let out something so dumb? For whenever I speak, I have to howl and proclaim violence and ruin. For me, Yahweh's word has been the cause of insult and derision all day long. I would say to myself, I will not think about him. I will not speak in his name any more. But then there seemed to be a fire burning in my heart, imprisoned in my bones. The effort to restrain it wearied me. I could not do it. How? Well, one thing we know is that Jeremiah also is in exile, right? Yes, I think he's in exile here. He's not, but then he talks about Jerusalem and Judah all the time. So I'm a little confused on where he's actually at. Yes, and how far have the Israelites sunk? Hello, Mr. Stray Hair. How low have the Israelites sunk that someone that's kind of proclaiming God's word gives the warnings, hey guys, what are you doing? Right? that the Israelites are condemning this prophet. But then, when all this the Bible was put together, he's in here as one of the most revered of the Israelites. How does that make sense? As if. Right? I'm just saying. How does this make sense? Unless this is just a fairy tale spun out of someone's head and they thought it was a good one to put in the Bible. I'm just saying. I heard so many disparaging me, terror on every side. Denounce him. Let us denounce him. All those who were on good terms with me watched for my downfall. Perhaps he will be seduced into error. Then we shall get the better of him and take our revenge. But Yahweh is at my side like a mighty hero. My opponents will stumble, vanquished, confounded by their failure. Everlasting, unforgettable disgrace will be theirs. That's interesting. And how he's still holding on to the idea that God's going to save him. God's going to take care of everything. Right? Yes? I think that may be the seduction that he's of himself he's talking about. And then what? So what if God doesn't do anything? Then what? Huh? What's Jeremiah going to do then? Is his faith going to hold on? I don't know. Yahweh Sabaoth, you who test the upright, observer of motives and thoughts, I shall see your vengeance on them, for I have revealed my cause to you. Sing to Yahweh, praise Yahweh, for he has delivered the soul of one in need from the clutches of evildoers. A curse on the day when I was born. May the day my mother bore me be unblessed. A curse on the man who brought my father the news, a son, a boy has been born to you, making him overjoyed. May this man be like the towns that Yahweh overthrew without mercy. May he hear the warning cry at dawn. Wow, it's amazing on how I talked about children and parents and adoptive parents and their children. What the heck is Jeremiah doing here saying about his own parents? May he hear the warning cry at dawn and the shout of battle at high noon. For not killing me in the womb, my mother would have been my grave and her womb pregnant forever. Why ever did I come out of the womb to see toil and sorrow and end my days in shame? That's like some of the... Yeah, well, you come across some videos. As I said, on my feet, there's stuff on there. I have to say, why do I even have this? Sometimes I report it. I said, I don't want to see this. This is garbage. Nobody should see this. And let's see, one of them was, I didn't ask to be born. Nobody asked me if I wanted to be born. That was one some weird conversation they had or something. And I thought, well, you ungrateful wretch. Regardless. I mean, and again, if it were to come from someone, okay, the abuse that some children have to go through out there, I'm not sure why. I'm not getting it because it wouldn't be happening in my surroundings, and there's plenty of people everywhere. Abusive children should never just be overlooked. Yes? Anyway. But these people I've seen talk like that, they look fine. They walk around in their brand clothes and have a big enough mouth, you can tell they're not hurting anywhere. Anyway, so that's just ridiculous to me. How ungrateful people, adults out there can be later on in life. I don't know, don't have enough to do, don't really have to work for their upkeep and all that. It's all been given to them. Then they can start sprouting nonsense like that. Well, anyway, I don't have any respect for people like that. I pray for them that hopefully they'll come to their senses and give an apology. That's one thing I do often go in and say, apologize. Apologize for what you just said. That would be the proper thing to do. I'm not going to support stuff out there like that. Well, anyway, okay, let's keep going. Here's Jeremiah talking about his parents like that. And I'll say, I mean, what is this doing in the Bible? All right, C. Super chapter C. Prophecies mainly later than the reign of Jehoiakim. Prophecies. What have we heard of prophecies yet? Maybe I have the wrong idea in my head on what a prophecy is. Jeremiah, this is 21. Jeremiah answers the envoys of Zedekiah. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh when King Zedekiah sent Pashur, son of Malchiah, to him with the priest Zephaniah, son of Messiah, to say this. Wow, they're really clear here on who is who and when and who's sent with whom and wow, that's really detailed. And in other times we get nothing. It's just hearsay, in a way. And here it is so clear. Please consult Yahweh for us, since Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, is making war on us. Perhaps Yahweh will work one of his many miracles for us and force him to withdraw. Jeremiah said to them, take this answer to Zedekiah. Yahweh God of Israel says this, I shall bring back the weapons of war which you are now carrying, and with which you are fighting the king of Babylon and the Chaldeans, now besieging you. From outside the walls I shall stack them in the center of this city, and I shall fight against you myself with outstretched hand and mighty arm, in anger, fury, and great wrath. I shall strike down the inhabitants of this city, human and animal. They will die of a great plague. Then Yahweh declares, I shall deliver Zedekiah king of Judah, his officials, the people, and those of this city who have escaped the plague, the sword, or the famine, into the clutches of Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, into the clutches of their enemies, and into the clutches of those determined to kill them. Mercilessly, relentlessly, pitilessly, he will put them to the sword. And you must say to this people, Yahweh says this, look, I offer you a choice between the way of life and the way of death. Anyone who stays in the city will die by sword, by famine, or by plague. But anyone who leaves it and surrenders to the Chaldeans now besieging you will live. He will escape with his life. For I am determined on disaster and not prosperity for this city, Yahweh declares. It will be handed over to the king of Babylon, and he will burn it down. Wow, what a tale that just spun here, huh? I've already said plenty about on, yeah, God would never do this. God would never prophesy this or have Jeremiah say that. As I said, Jeremiah, you're one unhappy soul. Then he is surprised when they go, what? That's what God said? Man, you're useless to us then, right? Yes? Well, anyway, address to the royal family of Judah. To the royal house of Judah, listen to the word of Yahweh, house of David. Yahweh says this, each morning give fair judgment. Rescue anyone who has been wronged from the hands of his oppressor, or else my... What? Or else my wrath will leap out like a fire. It will burn, and no one will be able to quench it, because of the wickedness of your actions. Okay, sounds like a warning to me. What I talk about, when you start accusing others, like a child going, oh, I didn't never ask to be born. Well, you know what? I have news for everyone who thinks that way. Actually, from what I have experienced in spirit world, you do make that decision. You do actually decide who will be your parents, why you're going to be going through whatever you're going to be going through as a child into adulthood at all. You are, as a spirit created in the image of God, you are deciding who your parents will be. And there's a reason for that as well. Mostly it is all about restoring lineages. Hmm? Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry, but from my experiences, no, you did choose actually to be born. And to be born exactly into the hands of the parents you chose as well. Wow, isn't that something? And if one actually looks at one's life and how it went, and again, it's, then one knows, oh wow, that's actually true. Just it. Okay. Okay, let's keep on here. My quarrel is with you, resident of the valley, rock in the plain. Yahweh declares, with you that say, who would dare attack us and enter our lairs? I shall punish you as your actions deserve, Yahweh declares. I shall set fire to its forest, and it will devour all around it. Yahweh said this, go down to the palace of the king of Judah, and there is this word. Listen to the word of Yahweh, king of Judah, now occupying the throne of David. You, your officials, and your people who go through these gates, Yahweh says this, act uprightly and justly, rescue from the hands of the oppressor anyone who has been wronged. Do not exploit or ill-treat the stranger, the orphan, the widow. Shed no innocent blood in this place. For if you are scrupulous in obeying this command, then kings occupying the throne of David will continue to make their entry through the gates of this palace, riding in chariots or on horseback, they, their officials, and their people. But if you do not listen to these words, then I swear by myself, Yahweh declares, this palace shall become a ruin. Yes, this is what Yahweh says about the palace of the king of Judah. You are like Gilead to me, like a peak of Lebanon. All the same, I will reduce you to a desert, to uninhabited towns. I dedicate men to destroy you, each man with his weapons. They will cut down your finest cedars and throw them on the fire. And when many nations pass this city, they will say to one another, why has Yahweh treated this great city like this? And the answer will be, because they abandoned the covenant of Yahweh their God to worship other gods and serve them. Okay. Well, I have not seen the multitude of destruction. Oh, wait. I just made a mistake here. That, I was being foretold here. Again, it's all man-made. God has nothing to do with it. And if we, again, we behave in a certain way, then the consequences are this or that or that or this, right? Why would I blame God for one or the other, right? Well, then why give God the credit for all the blessings? Yeah, isn't that something again? Yes, yeah. Uh, I'm willing to take on the burdens of, okay, things didn't go so well. I must have not been doing something right. Right? Rather than, well, I'm being punished by God. No, I'm going to look at myself and go, well, must have done not something right. Myself. I left the guidance of God out. So this is what I'm dealing with now. Got to get back on track. Yes? Yeah. Then, suddenly, oh wow, this is great. Everything's going good again. because I took whose advice? That's why they're considered blessings. That's why I give God credit. Does that make sense? Yes? There's a difference, right? You take the good guidance, you get the guidance, the good guidance from spirit world, yes, and from our heavenly parent. You follow the Ten Commandments. You follow the guidance of Jesus as well. That was given, no doubt, to him by our heavenly parent. Then, well, things look different. Things are more imbalanced. Things will still happen, but they're more balanced. To deal with, or to receive, or to give. Yes? Does that make sense? But if one falls off the wagon and starts listening to people who are just out for, I'm not sure what, greed, power, money, I don't know what, lust, I don't know what, yeah, then, well, there you go, right? Now who are you listening to? Right. Sometimes we're just willful on our own, right? Decide to do whatever we want. Doesn't work either. It doesn't. Well, but we also shouldn't blame anybody else then. Yes? That's why. Take on the responsibility for things that we're doing go wrong. And acknowledge where the blessings, the good things come from. And give credit there. Yes? Not that hard to figure out, is it? May Heavenly Parent bless, protect you, guide you, embrace you with love. Eldridge, my dearest brother, I hope things will go better for you. Just hang in there. The best thing is the prayer book, faith forward. Leave everything. Don't bother so much about all this other stuff. Right? Don't be bothered by it. I love you. Hang in there. Let's pray together. And I will talk to you all another time.